Hi, and welcome to Ottawa Eats. I'm your host, Tom Schoch. So nice to have you along with us again. Today is your lucky day because Clover will ask if it's the 4-leafed or the other leafed kind. Is there a 3-leafed one or a 5? I don't know. Anyway, the point is, we're at Clover, food and drink. Brilliant place here on Bank Street. We're going to hop inside and try some of their amazing food. It's Rogers TV and Ottawa Eats. Come on in. Hi, and welcome to Ottawa Eats. They're always my favorite shows. You can tell they're my favorite shows whenever we have similar hats. So thank you for wearing the hat. We have the co-owners here. We have Danielle and we have West. Thank you for having us today.
A pleasure. Thank you so much.
Tell us about where we are, because this is a beautiful space here and it's got a very kind of different feel to it. You've got art on the walls. You've got artists in the kitchen. Is this an artist commune? Is that what you have going on here?
It can be. It
Yeah?
can be. We wanted it to feel a lot like our house. Plus, we didn't have a great budget, so we had to be pretty resourceful. A lot of the feel of the place is very reminiscent of how our house looks like as well.
Okay.
Lots of plywood.
Lots of plywood. Okay, so it's sort of like you're half done the renovation kind of thing at your house. Is that what's going on?
Pretty much.
Okay, all right, I like this. So it's like a construction zone, but not really. It does look very nice. You have the nice wood on the walls, and a lot of people, I did notice that. I said, oh wow, so nice and very nice woody motif. That's plywood. Okay, so why the wood finish? Was it a budget thing, or was it something you just kind of like the feel of it, or what?
A little bit of both.
Yeah?
We wanted it to be a fairly neutral space, so we also had thoughts of bringing in artists from the local area.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to be pretty blank so that they can put up their pieces and it
Right.
would stand out and look great in space.
We won't take too much time on this, but talk a little bit about the art on the wall and how often it changes maybe, and who you do feature.
We'd like to change it up a little bit more often, but we've been lucky enough to have Erin O'Neill on the walls,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've brought in a few pieces from Yoko. She does a little bit of little drawings, portraits
Yeah.
and such, and some pieces started off with my sister actually
Oh.
giving us a couple of shots of Clovers just to put on the walls.
Okay,
So, yeah.
so that's where all that came from. So enough about the art, enough about the decor. Let's talk about the food. What do you do here? What's the food? If I had to corner you, which I'm going to corner you right now, what do you do for food? What is it? Describe it to me.
We just do simple stuff. I didn't want anything too pretentious or unapproachable. We wanted people to feel comfortable sitting and receiving their plate, and a little bit of wow, sure,
Mm-hmm.
but we just wanted the ingredients mainly to speak for themselves.
Right.
So we don't do crazy, insane techniques.
Mm-hmm.
We're just solid cooking, simple ingredients.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me how you two ended up starting this idea, because a lot of people, when you talk to them and they're in the restaurant business and say, oh, I'm thinking about doing it, go, don't go into the restaurant business. It's a really terrible idea.
I'd say the same thing.
Okay, so why did you two get together and say, hey, this is a terrible idea, let's do it?
Well, I'd been working not that long in the industry, and I was working at Zen Kitchen, just on Somerset, which was a vegan restaurant, and we had kind of, talked a little bit about the opening a restaurant.
Right.
And I was a little hesitant, but this space opened up, and Danielle works around the corner from here.
Yeah.
She called me down and said, let's go check out that space, and I kind of just humored her. I really didn't think it was going to happen, but and she's always pushed me to do it, just because I'd been working so hard for other people.
Right.
She wanted me to work for myself, and I guess here it is.
Okay, so basically what you've just told us is that it's your fault. This thing. Yeah,
In
so.
a few words, yes.
Yep.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
I'll
And
accept the blame.
I like that, but you have nice broad shoulders and she can take that, right?
I can do it.
Okay, perfect. The name, tell us about the name real quickly. Where did the name come from?
Clover, well, we're both beekeepers,
Yeah?
and we really like the fact that clover it's great. It's everywhere, really, and it's great for the bees, and it's actually great for the soil that it's in. Overall, it was just kind of, I think it sounded right
Yeah.
for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, there you go. So clover, and it's the 4-leaf kind or the 3-leaf kind?
The blossom, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, even better. It's the pretty part. That's what we're talking about today on Ottawa Eats. And we're going to step into the kitchen. Stick around. It's Rogers TV. This is the lovely V, and she's going to tell us all about what?
Pickling and preserving.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a whole bunch of jars here of,
Yes.
I can identify 3.
Yes. We at Clover love to preserve and get creative with it because essentially we like to minimize as much waste as possible. So oftentimes we'll get some gifts from the farmers markets, lots of vegetables, some things from West and Danielle's garden. So instead of trying to use it all, we'll preserve it in some format. So we have some preserved lemons here, preserved cherry tomatoes, asparagus, rhubarb, and this is a house-made duck prosciutto that we've cured and dried here in-house. I'm going to show you how to do a quick pickle. Basically, it's just a refrigerator pickle. So if you're not very patient like me and want to eat a pickle quickly,
Talking my language.
you can just basically slice some vegetables. You can pickle anything, carrots. We're going to do cucumbers today in a nice vinegar and a sweet brine. And then, like you said, a hot brine. So we're going to do some pickled eggs, which I love. So this is the hot brine that I've prepared beforehand. It's vinegar, water, and some spices.
Ooh,
it's very vinegary.
Yeah.
So a hot brine is also really good because if you heat it up, the flavors from all of the spices will infuse really nicely, whereas a cold brine, it won't actually do that. So I'm just going to put this on the stove to heat up, and we can work on the quick pickle. So this is a quick pickle that we do in-house a lot. It's basically just cucumber sliced really thinly on the mandolin. And we'll just add it to the jar.
A lot of people, they'll pack it right in, but you don't want to do that, do you?
Yeah, when you're preserving something, you want to make sure your jar is full and there's also enough headroom for some air, especially in the preserving. But when you're doing a quick pickle, it doesn't really matter because you're probably going to eat it pretty soon.
Okay.
So this is some sugar, some salt, and like a healthy amount of pepper. This pepper is delicious. We like to toast our pepper and grind it in-house. Just to give it a really nice flavor. So you basically just stir this around until it's dissolved as much as possible. And then you just pour it so that it covers all of your veggies. And then the salt will allow the water from the cucumber to go out, and then it won't be as vinegary once it's actually pickled.
Okay.
Yes. So next I'll show you the pickled eggs. I like to do these pickled eggs with beets and garlic. So I've gone and put some in there. So when you put the beets in there, over time the color of the egg will change to pink. So I'll show you that a little bit later. I'll put some more beets in here. Some more eggs. You can put any type of herb in there. I like to do rosemary. And a little trick my colleague taught me is to burn the rosemary.
And what does that do when you burn it?
It just adds a nice little charred flavor to the herb. You'll be able to smell it. You can, we'll clean your chakras and get them in order.
My chakras are filthy.
And then you can just put them into the jar. Also, it just looks beautiful. See, you can smell that nice smoky rosemary flavor.
That's a very nice smell. I've seen people do this on a barbecue as well. They'll do that, and they'll kind of have it in there too.
Yeah, it just adds a nice aroma. You kind of eat with your eyes and your all your senses.
Cool.
So our brine is nice and hot. Add this to our pickled eggs. And then over time, these probably will take about a couple weeks for them to be ready to eat. And then once they're ready, the eggs themselves will be nice in color. So the beets will let go the beautiful reds and pink colors.
Yeah, I see it's starting to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm now going to show you the charcuterie board, an example of some of the pickles that we use here. So I start with some of the mustard that we make in-house, which is also kind of a preserve. It's fermented, so you take mustard seed and add some kind of vinegar or maybe wine, and then it expands. So as time passes and you leave it out, it'll expand, and then you'll notice it's ready to eat when it's nice and soft, just like mustard. These are some of our pickled onions, pearl onions that we make in-house. This is our duck prosciutto that I've gone ahead and sliced ahead of time.
Oh, look at the color in that.
That's
beautiful.
So nice. So you cure this in some salt, and then we dry it for about 3 weeks until it's ready. These are the cucumbers that we just did over there, so we use them a lot here.
Can I try one of those?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, it's a little bit wet.
No, that's okay.
There you go. Delicious, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
So easy. So you can do it with anything: cabbage, cucumbers, carrots, any like crisp vegetable.
It tastes like what are they called? the butter pickles?
Yes, the
Yeah.
bread and butter pickles.
Yes, that's it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we like to make it nice and sweet because we also have a dill pickle, so it kind of balances that. This is a peach chutney that we make in house. So we got a bunch of peaches as a gift last summer. So we made some chutney. This is some Brussels kraut. We shaved some Brussels sprouts and put it through the sauerkraut process, which is essentially salting it and letting it ferment over time. This is the pickled egg. So
Oh,
you see,
look at that.
this has actually probably been going for about a month and a half. So the brine has reached the center, and when you taste it, it'll taste like rosemary and garlic and a light earthiness from the beet. These are some pickled asparagus. Finish it with some of the crostini, and then of course some finishing salt on the prosciutto. This is also some cypress salt, and there you have a lovely little charcuterie
that.
board.
You could write your own book.
Yeah.
Pink eggs and duck. There you go. Huh?
I could eat that every day, basically.
A salad that requires a stove. I'm interested. Go ahead.
Yes. This is a very popular dish here for lunch at Clover. It's a chickpea and cauliflower salad.
Okay.
Super, super popular. So I'm going to show you how we make the dressing. Very simple, but super delicious. Just some lemon juice and also the zest of lemon. So when you're using a lemon, always use the zest to add extra lemony flavor. A shallot. Smooth mustard, which is super important. This is a vinaigrette, so this will help keep your dressing emulsified, so it's all blended and it won't separate. This is white balsamic vinegar. And then we have some sugar. And of course, salt and pepper. And now it's gonna get loud, we're gonna blend.
Oh, goody. All right.
So we
I'll
don't.
ask you a really personal question here when it's loud, okay?
Sure, sure.
Okay. We'll pretend
answer
we're
is
having.
yes.
Oh. Weird.
So obviously you don't add your oil yet, you add it slowly to help the emulsification.
It's not even loud. I didn't even ask you an inappropriate question. No, gee.
Yeah,
When was the last time?
today.
Oh.
And that's it.
Wow.
So the dressing is done, and I will get you to taste it. Quality control.
Oh, yeah. Me, quality control. Wow.
Good, right?
That's amazing. You can really taste the shallots, especially.
Shallot,
Yeah.
vinegar, mustard.
It's got that
sweetness.
Yeah, and it's got the nice punch of the vinegar too. Very
It's
cool.
the perfect salad.
Very good. So most people, they would get their chickpeas just from a can.
Right.
And if you are getting them from a can, would that be
We don't do
okay?
that here. I mean,
If they were doing
it
this at
depends on who
home?
you are, but we don't do that here.
Right.
We actually buy dried chickpeas and we soak them overnight.
Okay.
And then we cook them with some bay leaf to add a little bit of extra
Okay.
flavor. So these are the chickpeas that we've pre-cooked. Add them to your pan. Obviously some shallot for some nice allium flavor. We like to use shallot on everything. And then a little bit of olive oil. So we'll get that going on the stove. And we'll just basically, we'll add a little bit of salt and pepper until it kind of starts to caramelize.
If people have never cooked chickpeas before,
Uh-huh.
Do they burn easily? Are they something that gets really dry quickly?
You'll notice we'll start to get a nice caramelization on the shallots and the chickpeas, and basically that's when it's ready. A little fuego. So once you have some nice caramelization, turn your heat kind of to medium low, and then we're going to add some veg stock. So everything is made in-house here, even our stocks. And we'll put it back on the stove and just let that reduce slowly, and then I'll go and show you how we assemble the salad.
All right.
So we cut the cauliflower to order, so we shave it à la minute, and we just shave it nice and thin. People ask us all the time, how do you get it to stay on the stem? I try this at home all the time. So the key is you just kind of keep it on the stalk a little bit to kind of preserve the shape of the cauliflower. So we add our shaved carrots. These are heirloom carrots, a little bit of parsley, nice green herbage, and these are some scallions that we cut and basically curl. So when we cut them really thinly and we shock them in some cold water, which gives it that curl.
Oh,
and
wow.
it just makes it look really pretty. So I made some dressing beforehand and then just toss it in the bowl. Normally I use my hands, but we have guests, so I'm being polite. I'm using tongs. And then we plate nicely on the bowl, kind of in the shape of a C. It's just a really beautiful salad to look at. It's got herbs, it's got acid, it's got sweetness, it's got that umami, which Uncle Gino will probably talk about later. So these are the chickpeas that have now been cooked. We just top the salad with chickpeas.
Very nice.
We add a little bit of this thing that we make in-house called pepita parm. It is a nutritional yeast and pepitas, which are pumpkin seeds, and kind of all blended together. So nutritional yeast adds that umami, kind of cheesy flavor. It's a deactivated yeast, very popular with vegans and vegetarians because it's not real cheese, it's just a yeast. And then to make it look even more beautiful, we just garnish it with some of our onions and then also some parsley. And there you go, chickpea cauliflower salad.
Nice and simple. Yeah, and you took so many different ingredients, you brought them all together. There's a lot of little moving parts going on.
Yeah, it's kind of what Wes does here. I mean, she calls her food simple and humble, but there's a lot of thought and care that goes into not just the final product, but the people that we source our food from. Everything is super local as her backyard, as local as her own honeybees. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. Well, thank you very much, V.
Thank you.
Yeah, a beautiful smiling face of V, and where is he?
Uncle G.
Oh, there he is. He's up there. I'm going to talk to him next.
Have fun with that.
Where did he? He just disappeared. Oh, there he is. Oh, it's like Waldo. He's everywhere. This is Uncle Buck, or Uncle Gino. Which do you prefer?
Gino.
Okay, just Gino?
Or Zio Gino. We want to turn this place into an Italian place.
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
that's what West thinks. There's a conspiracy up front.
Okay, all right. You're going to be showing us something that is market fresh, okay?
Yeah, West, the owner, stopped by Lansdowne Farmers Market.
Okay.
The asparagus is from Rochon at Parkdale, and so are the radishes. From the Lansdowne Market are the ramps, and these are like wild leeks.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's something you have to forage for. We've incorporated the ramp tops into this green goddess dressing, which is a combination of crème fraîche and some sheep's milk yogurt from La Bergerie des Sables. We've got an array of herbs in there too.
Okay.
Mint, chives, sorrel, which is another tangy herb that comes up in springtime, fresh tarragon, and salad burnet, which has a cucumbery flavor. If you want to give it a shot.
Yeah, sure. I have coffee. I need fresh my bread. Okay, so what happens here? What do you...
We're going to toast some bread and some butter. That's going to just give our bread some lovely flavor and help it toast a little bit. I'm going to do the potatoes, ramps, and radishes in this pan here.
All right.
So we keep our parsley stems and make like an essential oil.
Oh, very nice.
So we try and not waste too much here. Try and use up everything.
I usually give my guinea pig the stems.
Okay.
Yeah. His name's Gibby.
Okay. Vegetarian?
Yeah, he's never eaten meat.
Okay.
No, not yet.
Okay.
And what is the herb that you have in here?
That's just lemon thyme. That was picked up at Parkdale Market too.
Okay.
Always season. Because it absorbs the seasoning as it goes along, and we're pretty good there. We just want to get a little bit of colorization on the herbs. I'm just going to let that steam a little, keep warm. So we're going to grill the asparagus.
Okay.
We want a little bit of that charred flavor in our dish.
Gotcha.
We're trying to use everything that's on your palate, including the 5th sense umami. Now they're talking about a 6th one.
I didn't even know there was a 5th one.
Yeah, the umami is kind of like blue cheese, parmesan, salty, funky
Where's the
flavor.
5th one? Where's that go?
It's like an overall sort of
Really?
sensation. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have any sense. So
Okay.
that's what my mother always said. Yeah. You can use that joke, by
yeah.
the way, if you want.
The
So is that a pass for you on that joke?
yeah. I'll let that one
It's
go.
probably for the best,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Just gonna give
Look at that color, really
yeah.
popped. Wow.
a little bit of honey.
Oh, very nice.
And they told you earlier segment about their own beekeeping. This is some of their own honey.
Oh, wow.
A little bit of lemon juice to just spark the palate.
Mm-hmm.
Never anything wrong with a little bit of butter.
Wow, look at that nice color coming up. That's great. Very nice.
And with a name like mine, you got to get the trowel out.
Oh, right, obviously.
We want it to be a little bit studied, but kind of unstudied at the same time. You know,
Yeah.
we're not the type of place, and I'm not knocking the places that do it, but we're not the type of places that get too precious with the
Right,
plating.
yeah.
Like we're just trying to get that sort of organic look happening on the plate too.
Mm-hmm. Most people would eat radishes raw, but you've put them in here. Does that change the texture or the taste?
It mellows it some, just like roasted garlic is somewhat mellowed.
Right. And what is that right there?
This is our homemade mustard.
Very nice.
It almost looks like caviar,
Mm-hmm.
and it just gives another colorful element to the dish.
Yeah.
These are the radish tops, so no one should be afraid of the tops if they're nice and fresh. So it's got the hint of radish.
I know this is not going to be a very accurate description. It tastes green.
Yeah, like grassy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've been known to graze.
Okay. And we want a little bit of unctuousness to ooze here.
Okay.
So we're going to.
I was going to ask you if you were going to do this.
We have some black cypress salt.
Okay. Wow. Black salt. Always a bit of a treat when you see that.
Smoked salt would be nice too.
Mm-hmm. Excellent work. Absolutely stunning.
Um,
I don't want to say that you should only come down here for the food, because that would be a lie. You should come down here and just talk to Uncle Gino, because along with the food, you get a little bit of, well, Uncle Gino, I think. Yeah. It's a compliment.
Thank you.
That's it. That's another episode of Ottawa Eats. Thank you so much for having us.
Pleasure. Thank you for being here.
Website, where can people find you?
CloverOttawa.ca.
All right. And people can obviously find all the different social media and all that kind of stuff. And where are you located within the city, your actual physical address?
We are at 155 Bank Street, right between Slater and Laurier.
So when you go traipsing up to Parliament to do your annual visit with the kids, or you just happen to be downtown, a great place to come and eat. And as you saw, all the food, beautiful colors, very simple ingredients. Thank you again so much.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, love it. And by the way, this is something that was just handed to me. This is I guess a pop. It tastes very much like a Coke, but very much organic, or Beck Cola. I'm gonna try this.
Mapley syrupy.
Do you have rum?
Well, yeah.
All right, we'll get into that in a second. Thanks for watching Ottawa Eats, and we'll see you next time. And I can't believe that that's vegan. That's amazing.
Good try.
So good. I've yet to be disappointed.